Tonight on Newswatch, we'll catch you up on everything that's happened after the tragic incident in Paris.
And we learn more about what is going on right here on Iowa State's campus.
I'll be telling you all about Cyclones football, basketball, volleyball, and more in sports.
Watching Newswatch.
All right, guys. All right.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. I'm Dakota Carthen.
And I'm Brianna Campbell. Thanks for joining us.
Investigators are currently looking into the terrorist attacks in Paris that killed more than 120 people this past weekend. 3 sets of terrorists coordinated attacks at 6 different locations in Paris. The attacks also left 352 people wounded, including 99 who were in serious critical condition. ISIS claimed responsibility for the terrorist attacks, and the French president declared France is at war. President Obama says that the United States stands with France as they are one of our oldest allies. Our heart is with France, Paris, and the victims of this senseless attack. The hashtag Pray for Paris trended on social media with over 70 million people sending prayers over to France. We keep Paris in our thoughts during this tragic time.
The U.S. has already initiated its attacks on Islamic State's industrial base on Monday that helps the militant group earn millions of dollars each month. The airstrikes destroyed more than 100 tanker trucks used to transport oil that helps the militant group earn all of their money. According to Colonel Steve Warren, 4 A-10 Thunderbolt fighters and 2 AC-130 gunships were used to attack these trucks in the eastern Syrian city of Deir ez-Zor. U.S. strikes come as a support to its ally France after the French government conducted airstrikes against Islamic State in retaliation for the Paris attack. Officials say the U.S. military will be providing intelligence and targeting information to the French military to assist in their new campaign.
Islamic State's militants threatened in a video released on Monday to launch another set of terrorist attacks in Washington and Rome, similar to the violence that occurred on Friday in Paris. The 12-minute video was posted on Twitter and was shared many other social media websites. An intelligence group was able to identify the people in the video as people from Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Algeria. Islamic State's militants in their media operation often threaten the U.S. and its allies, but this video is likely to draw extra attention from the public after the Paris attacks has raised fears.
Another disaster has recently hit in the east when an earthquake in Japan on Friday triggered a small tsunami. CNN first reported the earthquake registered a magnitude of 7.0, but later adjusted to 6.7, happening off the southwestern coast of Japan. The National Tsunami Warning Center says the earthquake was not sufficient to generate a tsunami based on the historic records. However, BBC reported the resulting tsunami did register at 1 foot. Although this earthquake has caused quite a stir on social media, officials say there were no reports on damages or injuries. This earthquake and tsunami was not nearly as bad as the one in 2011, which resulted in more than 18,000 people dead or missing.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is vowing retribution against the culprits responsible for bringing down a Russian airliner over Egypt last month. A group affiliated with the Islamic State has claimed responsibility for bringing down the plane over the Sinai Peninsula, killing everyone on board. However, it is not until Tuesday that Russia acknowledged the crash was an act of terrorism. Alexander Boronov, head of the Russian intelligence service SFB, stated on Tuesday that traces of foreign-made explosives have been found on the debris of the plane as well as on the passenger's luggage. The FSB has announced a $50 million bounty on the bombers.
Austria returns an ancient figurine to the Egyptian ambassador after it was stolen. The figurine, used in Egyptian funerary ceremonies, is called an ushabti and is buried with royal Egyptians to serve them in the afterlife. Austrian authorities recovered the figurine from 2 men who were trying to sell it for 2 million euros, which is $2.15 million. The police turned the figurine over to the Austrian Museum of Fine Arts, where the director of the museum then returned it to Egypt, where it belonged.
Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives are challenging President Obama to hold a tougher stance against the Islamic State militants. House Speaker Paul Ryan says that the Republican Party is considering to develop legislation that would suspend President Obama's plan of resettling 10,000 Syrian refugees to the United States. House Speaker Ryan also said that the Islamic State has proven that they are at war against the West, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Republican members of the House are expecting to vote on this legislation as soon as this week.
After 41 days of being trapped underground, 5 gold miners were rescued in western Tanzania, but another 12 people are still missing. Originally, 12 miners were trapped underground, and another group went down to save them. However, they also became trapped underground. Efforts by other miners to rescue them were futile, and the search ended after a week. The people underground had to eat cockroaches and drink water that dripped from above just to stay alive. Other miners heard their cries and quickly resumed the search. The other 12 miners are presumed dead.
Google is challenging a Russian court ruling that broke Russian antitrust laws by misusing the dominance over the Android mobile platform. The ruling, which came out in September by Russia's antitrust agency, stated that Google has broken the law by requiring pre-installation of certain apps on the Android mobile platforms. The case was originally brought forth by a local rival, Yandex, who is also seeking an investigation by the European Commission into the Google practices in the European Union.
The G20 summit is where major economic powers come to talk about the future of diplomacy and the economy. Turns out some delegates of the cat species came as well. During the summit, 3 stray cats took over the main stage where the likes of Obama and Putin talk. Coming unannounced, they walked around and sniffed flowers before becoming disinterested and walking off. Wondering why the cats got through security, one person said they were the leaders of Kittistan and Catlandia.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with your state and local news.
Welcome back to Newswatch. A new club has been created by 3 students and it's sure to crack you up. Dakota Carpenter has a story.
Choose your adventure at Iowa State. 3 students in the honors program have done exactly that by organizing the Stand Up Comedy Club at Iowa State University after participating in a funny honors seminar.
Basically, I took this class through the honors department called Gavin Jerome's Comedy College, which basically is a semester-long course teaching you how to do stand-up, teaching you the art of stand-up.
Typically, the Student Union Board looks to outside sources to bring comedic acts to places at Iowa State, such as the maintenance shop, but they may not have to look much further than their own backyard.
Right now, we're just looking for different opportunities to kind of showcase our club because a lot of people don't even know about it yet. So we help out. We do a lot of things with the honors program on different nights they have with different shows. We've done some stand-up comedy there, and there are different bars and things around Ames that we've been able to perform at, like DG's Tap House.
Although the club is brand new to the student organization's database, club members are excited to explore its potential.
I think we're getting the ball rolling, growing, getting more well-known, so I look forward to its future.
As the club's executive board works with club members, they are all beginning to realize that the club is an outlet for providing them with more than just laughter.
It was really fulfilling for me and other members of the club who joined to be able to get out of their comfort zones, do something that they never thought they would be able to do before.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Dakota Carpenter.
At a drug abuse conference in Iowa City last week, Dr. Anthony Miller discussed overprescribing pain medicine, something that's become a common in American practice since the 1990s. The Iowa Board of Medicine has taken steps to inform doctors of the risk of prescribing opioids, according to Miller. He says opioids are being prescribed for more conditions than in the past, including arthritis, back pain, and fibromyalgia. Miller also said opioid prescriptions tripled in Iowa between 1997 and 2007. Anthony hopes to bring more awareness to doctors about this issue in the future.
Get your sweet tooth indulged with a hump day treat. The Iowa State Dairy Science Club is selling ice cream for $1 in Kildy Hall every Wednesday from 11 to 1 near the north doors of Lush Auditorium. Various flavors are available and all proceeds go to paying for club events. So head on down and get yourself a mid-week treat for just $1 courtesy of the Dairy Science Club.
Iowa Representative Steve King is endorsing Texas Senator Ted Cruz for the Republican nomination. King cited the Texans' views on faith, the military, and the immigration policy in his endorsement speech. Both Republicans have similar views, and King believes that Cruz will be able to appeal to the mainstream Republican voters. King also respects many of Ben Carson's views as well, but believes that Cruz is a better fit for the nomination. King also said Cruz was a constitutional originalist, and the answer to his prayers. Steve King is a representative of Iowa in the 4th District. Ted Cruz is currently 4th in the polls.
A team of Iowa State students won the National Cyber Analyst Challenge competition. The competition consisted of a scenario in which a security breach has been detected at a small business. The team's assignment was to comb through tons of data and detect the source of the breach in 5 hours' time. This was the first year for the competition. The students say even if they hadn't won, the competition was a great experience since security breaches are real-life possibilities for small and big companies alike. Congratulations to ISU's team on the first place finish. And now we're joined by Ben at the desk. How did the Cyclone sports weekend end up, Ben?
It was a busy weekend, Brianna. I'll have the latest when we come back from the break. Stay tuned. You're watching Newswatch. Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Ben Elliott with your Cyclone Sports Report. The Iowa State football team put together a strong showing in Ames this past Saturday, but ultimately fell to the 5th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys 35-31. The Cyclones had the lead for the majority of the game, only trailing for the final 3 minutes of the game. Iowa State's strong offense was led by Joel Lanning, who threw for 162 yards with a touchdown and 1 interception. Lanning was also the lead rusher for the Cyclones, rushing for 130 yards on 14 carries, including 2 touchdowns. The loss puts the Cyclones at 3-7 on the year, with only 2 games remaining. The Cyclones will travel to Manhattan this Saturday to take on the Kansas State Wildcats. The Iowa State men's basketball team is picking up where they left off last year with a strong 106-64 win against Chicago. Steve Prohm made his official Hilton Coliseum debut, leading the 7th-ranked Cyclones to a very convincing and comfortable win. Jameel McKay had a career night, leading the Cyclones with 25 points. All 5 of the starters for the Iowa State Cyclones scored in double digits on the night. According to ESPN.com, Coach Prohm is excited for the future, but knows there's still more work to do, saying, "We're still learning each other. I know we've got a talented team, and I think we're just going to get better in November, December, January, and February as we continue to get a better feel for one another." The Cyclones' next game will be next Monday, hosting Chattanooga in Hilton Coliseum. The women's basketball team traveled to Des Moines this past Sunday, where they fell to in-state rival Drake 74-70. This marked Iowa State's first loss to the Bulldogs since 2009. The game was close from start to finish, with the largest lead to either team being only 9 points. The Cyclones were led by redshirt sophomore Jada Buckley, who tallied 18 points and 6 assists. This marked Buckley's 23rd career game, scoring in double figures. The Cyclones also saw a strong performance from junior Shauna Johnson, who scored 16 points and also tallied a career-high 16 rebounds. The Lady Cyclones are now 1-1 on the season and will return to Hilton next Sunday to take on New Orleans. The Cyclone wrestling team hosted the annual Harold Nichols Cyclone Open this past Sunday at Hilton Coliseum. The Cyclones placed 10 wrestlers in top 6 finishes by the end of their home tournament. 2 Cyclones were champions of the tournament, with senior Earl Hall and junior Leland Witherspoon winning their respective weight classes. The Cyclones also had 2 second-place finishers, 4 third-place finishers, 2 fifth-place finishers, and 2 sixth-place finishers. Hall was the highlight wrestler of the day, recorded on his way to the title. Last match was narrowly with a 4-3 decision over Godwin Cutter to score the title. The Cyclones will have a break in action before returning to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Cy-Hawk Duel at Hilton on Sunday, November 29th. The Cyclone volleyball team was unable to pull off the upset this past Saturday, falling to number 5 ranked Texas 0-3 at home. The Cyclones were competitive in all sets, losing by no more than 7 in any set. The team was led by Morgan Kurt, who scored 13 kills, and Caitlin Nolan, who recorded 24 digs. The Cyclones came out eager to take the third set, taking a 5-0 lead out of the gate. Iowa State kept it close all the way to the end before the Longhorns were able to take the last 4 points to make it a 25-21 set victory to take the match. The loss puts the Cyclones 16-8 on the season and 9-4 in Big 12 play. The Cyclones will also travel to Manhattan this week to face Kansas State this Thursday at 7. And that's all I have for sports. How long can we expect this rain to last?
The rain will be clearing out, but snow by the end of the week. I'll let you know how much we'll be seeing coming up after the break. Newswatch, the rain has been with us the past couple days, but it will be clearing now, and we'll see the winds return by Thursday, and eventually, yes, snow. We'll be talking snow in our 7-day forecast. Stepping out the door tomorrow at 7 a.m., you'll see 47 degrees, with those rain showers still continue through morning. 2 p.m., those rain showers will begin to taper off with a temperature topping out at 51 degrees, and eventually wrapping back down by dinner time at 47 degrees. Right now, outside the studio, it is 58 degrees. Those winds are out of the south at 5 miles an hour. A very comfortable dew point at 57 degrees. Across the state, State, we see 59 in Des Moines, 60 in Ottumwa, 58 in Waterloo, but those temperatures will be taking a nosedive as the cold front moves through late Wednesday evening. Now, right now, we have those rain showers continuing to advance off to the northeast, and this resolves around a bigger low-pressure system, which has brought tornadoes and even, yes, blizzard-like conditions across northwest Kansas just shortly a few hours after they saw tornadoes yesterday evening. Now, stepping through Futurecast, this rain will continue to stick around through tonight. We may see a dry period as that low-pressure system moves right over across the state, but it won't last long, as by tomorrow at 9 a.m. we see more rain starting to fill into the state, and those clouds, yes, will stick around once again tomorrow, and eventually by tomorrow afternoon we'll see those rain showers begin to taper off, but the clouds will eventually clear out by early Thursday morning, so heading out to class you'll be waking up to some sunshine, and eventually it won't last long because the snow will be moving in by Friday. Now, 31 is our overnight low with those showers throughout much of the evening, those cloudy conditions sticking around, only warming up to 51 tomorrow, those rain showers ending by mid-afternoon with those winds out of the south at 11 to 20 miles an hour, possibly gusting up near 30 miles an hour. Now, stepping through your extended forecast, that cold front comes through Thursday. We're only looking at a high of 44, overnight low of 24. It only gets cooler as we go into the weekend. There's that chance of snow on Friday, maybe 1 to 2 inches, so if you're heading home for Thanksgiving break, that may add some travel concerns. And eventually by the weekend, we're stepping down to 31 on Saturday, and eventually warming back up by Monday and Tuesday.
One of the biggest upsets in MMA history has just happened. This past weekend, undefeated champion Ronda Rousey fought undefeated Holly Holm in UFC 193. Ronda was surprisingly knocked out in the second round of the match. Ronda was the clear favorite in this matchup, and the nation was shocked after she lost her first fight of her career. Holly landed several punches to Ronda's face, throwing Ronda off her game. Ronda's nose began to bleed after the punches, which was the beginning of the end for Rousey. The final blow was a kick from Holly to Ronda's face, knocking her out, and the match was quickly over. Ronda was transported to the hospital after the match, but suffered no serious injuries. Holly Holm is now the women's bantamweight champion. Expect to see a rematch in the future.
Charlie Sheen has some disheartening news. He is HIV positive. The former TV star of shows such as 2.5 Men and Anger Management said that he was diagnosed with HIV 4 years ago. Sheen said he is not entirely sure how he contracted the HIV virus, but he found out after a medical checkup for severe headaches, which he suspected at the time was a brain tumor. Sheen's doctor, who also appeared on the Today Show, clarified that he does not have AIDS. Sheen also said that he informed his ex-wives as soon as he found out, and that he has used all necessary precautions and protections so that him transmitting HIV to anyone else was impossible.
The hit movie Home Alone has a big birthday to celebrate. The film turned 25 yesterday, and it was released on November 16, 1990. It made the lead star Macaulay Culkin an overnight superstar after its release. The movie received 2 Academy nominations in music categories and led to quite a few sequels. The original movie made a total of $476 million, making it the 3rd highest grossing film of all time worldwide. After the release, it was released behind Star Wars and E.T. The tale of a boy accidentally left home over the holidays has become a classic film favorite and of many. Happy 25th birthday, Home Alone.
Elton John has just released his new single of 3 minutes and 20 seconds of Sunny Pop. The song is called Looking Up and is in the market along with a music video. The clip's colorful splatter paint theme, completed with impressionist doodles of the musician's trademark looks like his iconic eyewear, matches the tune's upbeat vibe. Looking Up is the first track off John's upcoming 33rd album, Wonderful Crazy Night. According to the star's writing partner, Bernie Taupin, Elton felt there was enough pain and suffering in the world without him contributing to it, so he wanted to do something that exuded positive energy.
Hunger Games stars pay tribute to the victims of the Paris attacks by wearing Mockingjay pins with red, blue, and white ribbons at the premiere of the Part 2 movie on Monday. Jennifer Lawrence, Liam Hemsworth, Josh Hutcherson, Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, and Donald Sutherland all wore the ribbons, along with the Lionsgate studio executive, also on the red carpet. Elizabeth Banks posted this picture on her Instagram saying, "Our hearts are with you, France, where we have so many amazing fans."
After 3 whole days, performer Shia LaBeouf finished watching all his movies in reverse chronological order. Called #AllMyMovies, it was a performing arts project created by the art trio LaBeouf, Ronco, and Turner. For 72 hours straight, LaBeouf watched 27 films non-stop and invited anyone to attend the screenings or for free or watch a live stream on the web. The web became fascinated by the project, with the hashtag amassing over 35,000 tweets one day. After the performance, LaBeouf said that it was a humanizing experience.
And that's all we have for tonight's edition of Newswatch.
Join us on Thursday for more news, weather, and sports.
Until next time, have a wonderful, chill night, Ames.